This is Sean Broderick. I'm at the Toronto MoneyShow, and I'm speaking to Michael Mills. He's the president and interim CEO of Body and Mind. They're a great little company. He's going to give you the scoop on it. Hi there, Michael. Thanks for speaking to my subscribers. Could you please tell us about your company?
You bet. Hey, Sean. So Body and Mind is a multi-state operator. We're in 4 states. We're in Nevada, California, Ohio, and Arkansas. We started in Nevada about 4 years ago. And we started with cultivation and production, and we started when the state was a medical state. And so we had a real opportunity to help patients and work on some really great strains and very high-end products.
I saw your presentation earlier today. It was very interesting. I mean, you spoke about the pitfalls some companies run into, like that kind of thing. Like, you guys were medical, switched over to, like, recreational, but that involved new regulations. Isn't that right?
Yeah, so, one of the things with being in a number of states is there's all kinds of changes that happen, and every state has opened their medical or their adult recreational cannabis program in slightly different ways. So every state has slightly different testing, and this is fairly new. So the states are changing their rules, they're updating their rules. I think that one of the things that we've seen in the last week has been this horrible scenario with vaping. We're going to, I expect we'll see e-cigarettes getting pulled off shelves relatively quickly. In fact, I think Walmart pulled them off the shelf today or tomorrow. But I think, they haven't tested for vitamin E acetate yet. I think they probably will. So, as states have rolled out medical programs or adult recreational programs, they're doing the best they can, and very often they need to tweak things a little bit. And I'm really impressed with the way most of the states are working with the industry to understand the best way to help patients.
Okay, great. Why don't you tell us about the strengths of your company? What is like working for you guys heading forward and stuff?
Yeah, so, again, we've been at this for quite some time, almost 5 years. And in this business, that's a long time. Mm-hmm. We have some incredible people on our team with a really strong, diverse set of skills ranging from cultivation to extraction to making edibles and also working in the industry in a sales role. So, at the end of the day, I think that one of the things that you really need to look for is passion in a company. And the passion in our team and the interest in producing the best product we can, winning awards for our product, and coming up with innovative products for the market is something that we do incredibly well. And it really all sort of focused out in Nevada. And so we had this experience in Nevada where we were small in a medical market, and we saw Nevada turn into an adult recreational market. In Nevada, they have 44 million visitors a year that come into Las Vegas for conventions and for tourism. That's just a huge number of people. So when they opened up for adult recreation, we went from this very small medical market to this very, very large adult recreation market. And the state was really good. The state, gave cultivators and producers some advanced ability to start making products, and the dispensaries were able to get ramped up. And there's growing pains when any of these things open. But the state's done a great job rolling this into a legal adult scenario and keeping it safe. And I think that's one thing that everyone really needs to remember. In the when this business is becoming legal, the level of testing that is done on the products that are going to the consumers is very stringent. And they're testing for microbials, they're testing for mold, they're testing for pesticides, they're testing for heavy metals. And it's a very rigorous testing program on top of how much THC is there and how much CBD is there. And a lot of people who have been part of the gray market cannabis world are really beginning to appreciate the level of testing and the safety that comes with the legal cannabis industry. And that's really regardless of whether it's medical or adult recreation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. One of the things that you just touched on in your presentation, which I find fascinating, is like a new tech. What kind of new tech would you see, in the industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So, there's been all kinds of technological advances. Really, I look at the way people grew cannabis 4 or 5 years ago to the way they're growing it now. Some of the greenhouses, some of the greenhouse operations that you see are so technically advanced. We're seeing software systems that track growth, that track what kind of nutrients are going in. Right now, we're doing testing on a number of different lighting systems. So, that's a long-term test. You have to grow several crops under the various lights. You have to also have a control crop under the lights that you know how they grow. So, there's all kinds of ways that technology is going to assist this business. And then, that's really just on the growing side. I've seen AI that will look for powdery mildew in a grow room and give you an advanced warning if powdery mildew is starting to come up long before most people would even see it.
Excellent.
And then when you look at the dispensary side, there's just a huge opportunity for dispensaries to become far more efficient in their inventory tracking, in their seed to sale tracking. We're working with a company, Weave, and they probably, in my mind, they've got one of the best point purchase software systems out there. And what's happening with a lot of the states is a lot of the states are bringing in what's called track and trace software or track and trace requirements, so that when a seed or a clone is planted, it gets a number or a tracking number, and that gets tracked all the way through the growth cycle, into production, through the distributor, into the store shelf, and eventually into the customer's hands on the final purchase. As states become further, as they move further into their legalization programs, that track and trace system needs to be part of every single process. So what we're seeing is that, some of the really smart software vendors have really slick solutions that they're bringing to make the dispensaries a whole lot more efficient and compliant with track and trace.
Okay. One more thing that I did want to touch on is you guys trade on the OTC QB.
We're on the QB, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we have the ticker BMMJ on the QB.
And do you think you might uplist to the OTCQX? Or
we will uplist to the OTCQX. Our fiscal year is July 31st, and once these fiscals have been, or once these have been filed, then we'll be able to upload to the QX.
Okay, and
we also trade on the CSE under the ticker BAMM. BAM.
Right, BAM. Okay, over the course of the next year, what kind of new things can we see from your company? What kind of milestones, that kind of thing?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we've got a number of initiatives underway right now. We are in the process of building a dispensary and cultivation in Arkansas, in a town called Little Memphis. And we're in the process of building a dispensary in San Diego. We own 60% of that. We've just taken over management of a dispensary called Showgrow in Long Beach. We did that in August. And we're in the process of moving our production in Nevada to a new production facility. That's about 8,000 square feet. It's probably 5 times larger than the area that we have right now. That's going to make us a lot more efficient on the cultivation, or not the cultivation, but on the production and on the extraction side. And what we'll do in the facility where we were doing production and extraction is we'll turn that into cultivation space, so it'll give us more cultivation, more plants.
Excellent. Well, that about hits all of my questions. Is there anything you'd like to add before we go?
No, I really appreciate the time, and happy investing, everyone.
Okay, great. You folks stay tuned. I'll have more for you. This is Sean Bardrick at the Toronto Money Show.